Hello, everyone. It's your girl, Tasha the Travel Nerd, here bringing you our next family day. So, for 2027, we are going to Costa Rica. And I wanted to take a minute to just kind of walk through all the details of our trip for 2027. So, as I said, we'll be going to Costa Rica. We will be flying into Liberia Airport, which is along the coast of Costa Rica, and we will be staying at the Ryu Gunacast. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that correctly. Which is an all-inclusive resort, which means all your meals and drinks are included, and water activities and whatnot that are on a resort. So those are included. Also, with this trip, I will be including round trip flights from wherever you're coming from. And when I say wherever, right now I'm pricing for Detroit, the DMV area, Atlanta, and the Jacksonville, Tallahassee area. So those are the airports right now that I am preparing flights for us. Those will be included, as well as transfers from the airport to the resort and back. So I'm trying to make this an all-inclusive experience this year. You will need passports. The dates for our trip in July are going to be July 15th through 19th, 2027. And that means that your passport needs to expire after January 15th, 2028. Okay, so if you have a passport, just make sure now that, if you're going to need to update it or renew it rather, before then, that you take care of that. So passports have to be valid for 6 months after the date that we travel. So it needs to expire after January 15th of 2028. So just wanted to mention that, and everyone will need a passport regardless of the age. This is a family-friendly resort, so children are definitely welcome. There is children pricing. However, children pricing only applies for those children that are ages 2 to 12. Okay, so they have to be under 13. Under 2 are free. So 2 to 12 are considered children. Now, in order for children rates to apply, you must have 2 adults, 2 full paying adults in the room first. Children are not considered children as far as pricing is concerned until you have 2 full paying adults in the room. So 1 adult, 1 child, that's 2 adults as far as pricing is concerned. 1 adult, 2 children, that's 2 adults, 1 child as far as pricing is concerned. So just know, if you haven't already booked, when you get ready to book, when you're putting in how many adults and children, make sure that you have 2 adults before you enter in any children pricing. Okay. I do recommend getting travel insurance. There is travel insurance that will be automatically offered to you when you book. That tends to be more expensive. I also have a link in the description when you go to book through Alliance Travel Insurance. They tend to have better pricing. So I recommend using either one of those to protect your vacation, because once I purchase flights, your money that you have paid will be non-refundable for those flights. So out of the total price, all right, $550 is reserved for the flight. Okay, I'm hoping I can get flights cheaper than that, but right now that's what I'm estimating for our flight costs. Okay, and once I do that, once I purchase those flights, those are going to be non-refundable, non-transferable. They're going to be in your name. That's your ticket. Once I buy it, it's yours. Now, what you decide to do with it, it's on you, but that's going to be your ticket. Okay, right now, only $1 to reserve your room. All right, monthly payments are going to be mandatory. All right, mandatory. Every month, starting August the 1st of each month, you will have a payment due. Whatever your balance is, it's going to be divided into 11 monthly payments starting in August. So you want to make sure you're making your payments, especially in the beginning, because I'm trying to get flights as soon as possible. They're not available yet, but sometime around September, October, they should start being available. And as soon as I see great rates, I want to be able to lock those in. If you're not making payments, I can't purchase flights. So please, make sure you're making your monthly payments starting in August. If you miss 2 payments, your reservation will be canceled. Okay, I Just we're not going to keep going back and forth with the payments each month. So if you miss 2 payments, your reservation will be canceled. What else? Talked about the all-inclusive resort. I think they have like 7 different restaurants, 6 different pools. They do have a children's area. It is on the beach. Now, with the rooms, there are a handful. There are only 8 of these rooms on the resort, okay? And I think I already have 4 of them booked. As I've stated in a previous video, I did not secure a contract for this. So you're getting what's available when you submit your reservation to me, okay? And what the rates are when you submit your reservation to me. So that's why I have these dollar deposits right now, so you can go ahead and lock in your rate. If the rate goes up because you waited a week, 2 weeks, a month, that's what it is. So you can pay $1 and lock your rate in right now, or you can just wait and see what it is. Now, right next to our resort is a sister resort. It's called Ryu Costa Rica Palace. The Palace is basically just a little more upscale version of the resort that we are on. Now, I do have some rooms at that resort as well. It sits directly next to the resort, so we're right next to each other. So if you would like a room over there, I have that option, and I have it marked on the booking that is at the sister resort, because I want you to know that. If you're at the sister resort at the Palace, you do have full access to the resort where the original resort where everyone else will be at. However, if you're at the original resort with us, you cannot go over to the Palace. So the Palace can come to us, but we can't go to the Palace. So if that matters to you, those options are there. Rates are starting at about $13.50 per person, okay? Because that includes the flights, all right? Single occupancy is higher. I think single occupancy might be starting around... I can't remember, but it's a couple $100 more. It's probably $300 or $400 more, because singles pay a premium when you're at all-inclusive resorts. So when you go to book, please fill in your occupancy. Don't look at those initial rates and think those are your rates. Your rates will not populate until you put in your occupancy, and then you'll see what your actual true rates are. So don't get sticker shock, all right? Put your occupancy in, and then your actual rates will populate after that. Okay, so when we're there, as I stated, it's an all-inclusive resort. I may have skipped over it. I was saying there's only 8 of this special suite that seems everyone's been interested in. It's a swim-up suite, where pretty much it's not like... It really shouldn't be called a swim up, because it's more like a private pool. It's connected across these 8 rooms, but it's a barrier in between them. It's only 8, and we have 4 booked already. So if you're interested in that, I can try to request it. But they're going really, really fast. So it's only 8 and 4 are gone. So that's that on that. And they are adults only, those particular rooms. Okay. So if you're interested in that, we have that. The resort also has some 2-bedroom units. There are 2-bedroom rooms, and then they have like a 2-bedroom suite, which is actually giving you more square footage. So if you have 3 or 4 people in your party, I suggest looking at those options, or our friends and family room. The 2-bedroom units must have 3 or 4 people. Okay, so if you look at the rates and you're 2 people, you'll see that selection there, but it's probably going to say like it's $30,000, because I just made the price ridiculously high so nobody would select it. But that's because it's not available to just 2 people. So you have to have 3 or 4 people to get one of the 2-bedroom units. I am planning on doing a group excursion for us to a location called the Buena Vista del Rincon Eco Adventure Park. They have a couple different packages for what you want to do. So it's a package for my older folks, or my folks that just want to relax, where you can just do a little, exploring and seeing a few things. And then we got some adventure stuff in there as well. If you want to do zip lining, hiking, going to the waterfalls. They have mud baths. We'll be near the volcano if you want to go see that. They got horseback riding. So really cool experience that I think is a nice excursion to really give us a taste of Costa Rica. So that will be planned. I think I'm planning to do that on Saturday. If I can get great rates on the flight, everybody pays their monthly payments, and I can get great rates on the flights and book them early, I would like to include the excursion. But if we're not able to do that and flights stay around the prices I have estimated, that excursion would be between $125 and $150 per person, just depending on what you want to do, because we have to also get transportation to that location. So I have to add in private transportation for us. But wanted to let everyone know about the excursion that we are planning for our family vacation. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. No room service at the Ryu Gunakas. They do have room service at the Palace. I just sometimes it's conflicting information out there on the internet. And also the Ryu Gunakas just underwent a renovation December of 2025. So if you look at reviews and they were talking trash, they've gone under a complete renovation in December of 2025. So that's one of the reasons why I picked this location for our trip. You know, I try to stick with budget friendly, but you know, not a roach motel. So trying to keep it as economical as possible without sacrificing too much. And now that we're next to the Palace, I have an option for those folks who want a more upscale experience, and you're willing to pay for it. You know, that option is there as well. So rooms start at $13.50 per person. Based on double occupancy, including your flights. They go up from there depending on what you're interested in. If you see something that's sold out, like I said, swim up suites, it's only 8 available on the whole entire resort. 4 are booked already, so it's potentially 4. I can't even see availability for those. So if you want one of those, you can let me know and I'll request it for you, but please have something else in mind. There also are a few suites. They're kind of on request as well. So if you're interested in a suite, just let me know that, and just have a backup in mind in case there aren't any more suites available. But the sooner you pay your dollar and lock in the room that you want, you ain't got to worry about it, right? Okay, so hopefully that covers all the questions for this trip. I talked about cancellation. I talked about the different packages. The flights are included, the estimates. I think that's everything. So hopefully you're going to join us. We started out, 2024? Yeah, 2024. We started with my wedding in Jamaica, and then family came to Atlanta for our first family day. Then we took it to Punta Cana for 25. We're going on a cruise this year. In 2027, hope to see you guys in Costa Rica. All right, love y'all.